I wonder if it's low on my side. Greetings and welcome back once again, everyone. I pray that everything is well. Let me know if you can hear me. Hello, William. Good evening. Welcome to the conversation. Let me know if everybody can hear me. If you can hear me, press 1. You don't know. Put something up in the chat. Um, this is not going to be long. Hopefully, it's not going to be long. I pray everybody is doing well. I pray everybody, you can hear me. All right, cool. I pray everybody's doing well. All praise be to the Creator. If you're new here, my name is Amuna. If you're not, welcome back. You don't know already. This is Amuna. We talk about a variety of things. The channel has organically grown. Sometimes I step away. Sometimes I come back. This YouTube thing, I've been doing it for a while. Let me give you a little backstory on the YouTube. I've seen the evolution of YouTube, right? I've seen people come. I've seen people go. I've seen people blow up. I've seen people placate to the audience. Let me see. When I came back from Ethiopia, I put my first YouTube video up in 2009, if you could believe it. There was another channel. I was talking about health. That was my very first video. Can you hear me? That was the name of the very first video. I just remembered it. Can you hear me? And I was talking about health, and I was talking about cleansing and all. And YouTube was a very different place. Remember, a couple of years before that, it had just got started. It was a very different place. It was a very open platform. There was no monetization. There were just people, everyday people, organically sharing their information, right? So you had, it wasn't what it was. And at that time, you can do response videos, right? So you know how you moved into a neighborhood and you're like, this neighborhood used to be nice. The neighborhood used to be nice. Okay. You could, somebody would make a video, say, I make this video. You used to have a little tab. Tell me if you remember that underneath the video, and you could respond to that person, to that video, and it would be shown next to all that stuff was going on YouTube. Okay. So people started to, put things in the pot. It started to grow. It started to grow. Channels started to get, this is before big corporate media comes. This is before all of that, because it was just where the other people, the lowly ones, that's where they do their thing. Okay. So that was then. And then time went on, for me, life take over, and I was sharing stuff about motherhood. You might still see a few of those videos floating around, sharing stuff about healthy eating, sharing stuff about breastfeeding, sharing stuff about children, sharing some spirituality stuff, some biblical stuff. I would sprinkle it in, kind of like what I do now. Okay. But there were other people who would like, this is what they're going to do. Right. And they really, this became their bread and butter. YouTube became their bread and butter. And what it did for some was it started to box them in. Like, you can't come out of this box, because when people know you for this one thing, and because you're a multidimensional being, you have other ways in which to express yourself. You become typecast. One thing about me personally, I don't like that. Right. So I'm always conscious, maybe hyper vigilant about people trying to typecast me. Right. And so as people were like, okay, I'm only going to talk about finance. And I understand that people are going to come and they'll be like, yo, check my other channel. This is as YouTube started to move into monetization space. And so the people who come to you to find out about marketing, they don't want to hear about your garden. Right. And so there's people started cropping up with all of these hard and fast rules about YouTube, what you should do, what you should not do. And there were people, as we know, who made whole careers off of YouTube. Okay. There's some who have gone. I miss them because they're not here anymore. They took all their videos, they took all their knowledge, and they left. And that's where I used to be. I used to be in that sector of YouTube. And then things changed. The neighborhood got gentrified, and it's not just on one side, it's on both sides. And it wasn't necessarily about the news, although they're still here, but many have gone, or about the health, or about the gardening, although a few are still here, but many have gone. Now it became a space where it's about gossip, and where it's about tea, and where it's about wine, and where it's about, all of these things. I saw the whole transition. Sometimes I'll step away for 6 months. Sometimes, so you may have some YouTube channels, because you build your house on sand. This is what YouTube really is. To a certain degree, it's sand, because now you can't say A because you're going to get censored, or you can't say B because they're going to pull your channel. That's building your house on sand. There's a lot of people who now like the net. Like, you remember Sandra Bullock and the net? Now this is your only space in which you can exist, because outside of this space you don't exist. For me, that's a problem. Anyway, but I'm gonna stay on track. So I watched the whole thing, and I always had a choice, right? I would do collaborations back in the day. I would do interviews back in the day because I like collaborating with people. I like giving people voice to do whatever it is they're doing. But lately I had to just be still and chill because the whole landscape has changed. I've seen YouTube beefs come and go. Video for video. This person make a video, that person make a video. Like, this stuff is it doesn't go anywhere, right? And I always knew that, because spirituality was it is my utmost on my quest to understand, right? So you can short term get the people to rock with you, and short term, get your numbers up, and short term be trending the internet, but it comes at a price, because these videos don't go nowhere. Okay, they don't go anywhere. And sometimes people lose sight of that. The other day, LF asked me about the little bit of controversy. I understand controversy sells, but guess what? When that stuff is attached to you, it doesn't go anywhere. It sticks to you, right? But nonetheless, we all have choices. So we make our choices based on whatever it is that our needs are at that particular time. So I watch it. I don't really like the beef. I like progress, right? You may have to beef. You can disagree, but the whole back and forth, video for video, we see that's happening right now in the subconscious community. We see back and forth beef happening there. We see video for video, so much that you can't keep up, because this person saw a live stream, so then this person wrote the live stream, and now I got to do a 5-hour live stream marathon on you, and then I got to chop your video up and talk, and I'm like, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. For me, it's too much. Maybe I've been exposed to so much drama coming up that I don't like drama now. Anyway, so the cost of tea, that's why I put the cost of tea on YouTube. So when the gossip space come, it's not giving you substance. It's not telling you how to build a house out of clay in the Amazon. You know that dude who's always building, like, making pools and houses out of the forest? That's crazy. I like that dude. But anyway, it's not telling you what's wrong with your heirloom tomato plants. It's not telling you how to can your vegetables from your harvest, or fix, something on your car, which a lot of those very useful YouTube videos are out here. Like I said, many have left. Sad to see you go. And what we have now is people being Miss Bonita and making a whole living of doing the Miss Bonita. And they calling it tea. So if you want to get the gossip, if you want to know what's, and they're on it, and the people are like, yeah, let me hear. And we're like, and did you hear? And this is now has become an industry, like the Inquirer or one of these tabloids. That's the industry now on YouTube. The problem is, for me, in my observation, it's a double-edged sword. Double-edged sword. You're playing with fire. The people who are doing this are playing with fire, because to understand the nature of the universe, you can't think on one hand that you're going to do all that you're doing and profit from it, and on the other hand that you don't have to give up something. So this morning I wake up and see, usually it starts for me with my inquisitive mind. I'm like, well, what's all of this? And then I'm seeing a video, and this person drags this person. So they have a few attorneys who have made them way to YouTube. Like I said, corporations made their way to YouTube. They done kicked out the everyday YouTuber out the spot. And professionals are making their ways to YouTube now, right? So the lead attorney guy, I've seen him in passing. He may comment on what's going on in the news from an attorney's perspective. I see a few attorneys doing that. He made comment on, I guess, what's happening with the R. Kelly case, and the big blogger, one of the tea bloggers or wine bloggers, Tasha K, as it relates to what they're observing in the case from his professional, position. I say the price of tea. So I see another video that says she drags him. So I was like, put a pause on this guy real quick, and let me reverse engineer this conversation. So I listened to hers first. The first one she does disappears. She says she erased it, right? We should be slow to anger. But in this space, because everything is so rapid fire, we want instant gratification. It took away anything from the people. It took away the ability to process what we're saying. It takes away the ability for you to see who you're coming at, because the person is behind the screen or behind a emoji or behind an icon. So we get reckless. We think we can say anything, do anything, because what are the chances of you actually seeing or running into this person? So she drags the man for filth, as they say in these streets. And I'm like, oh, like, you have family and friends around you. You about to go in and make a record, because that's what it is, right? You pressing vinyl right now. You press and play, and you're gonna go in hard body. What happened to slow to speak? What happened to in the multitude of words, sin is not far? We lose all common sense and wisdom. So she drags the man. Everything about the man, she class him bored. Okay? And I was like, okay, somebody caught the video. She erased the video, but this is YouTube. So somebody screen grabbed it. Because everybody's looking for content. Content is king. Content is king. So everybody's looking for content. A lot of people are not vetting information. A lot of people are not understanding the implications of the information. All of this stuff. But this woman in particular, this is how she's made her living on YouTube, by making commentary, some would say gossiping, about what's going on in celebrity spaces. Here comes our next video. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Where she apologizes. There is a plethora of apology videos now on YouTube. This is the price of tea on YouTube, okay? That somebody misspoke. Somebody spoke too soon. They didn't do diligent inquiry. They didn't inquire. They didn't do a whole host of things. And now they have to walk it back. They got to walk back all those comments that already went out, right? They got to walk back all that vitriol, all the hatred. And they say, well, why can't we come together? I've been told you the communication is broken. Okay, so she's walking back like, oh, she really felt bad for dragging him and this, that, and the third, and she walks it back. So I was like, okay, this is, and he reached out to her, this, that, and the third. I'm just looking at communication, the way we interface, how people behave when they have made this house on sand, and how it is so unstable that any wind blows will affect your whole livelihood. It's not like you made your livelihood on building houses or planting vineyards or making food. If your livelihood depends on whatever you're dishing out to the people, you have to constantly be in a space where you're appealing to the people, even if it's at your own detriment. So now I finally go over to the lead attorney, the price of doing tea. The price of tea in YouTube, right? I go over there and I'm listening to his professional thought processes on what could happen. And I'm gonna come, what's going on, LF? What could happen based on some of the things that were going on in the R. Kelly trial? For those who don't remember, a long time ago, this particular blogger, she was at the forefront of the R. Kelly information. And there's now a question as to how she is ascertaining the information, and whether or not it was through legal means, right? And I was just listening through the whole thing, and the lead attorney, another man comes on whose name Larry, I don't know him. But according to what they're saying, YouTubers have gotten into trouble legally in times past based on the way in which you move on YouTube. LF says, but in this person's defense, some people don't even admit when they're wrong, not saying it's right, but people make mistakes. Yeah, but this is not the first time the person has made a mistake. I would agree. People make mistakes, LF. But what I'm saying is that even in her apology, she says she felt triggered. She just went off. And because it's so easy to turn on the thing and press record or press go live, sometimes people don't think about the long-reaching implications of whatever you're about to say and whatever you're about to do, right? because you become so comfortable. Like in the case of Polite, which Michael Nowak, which is about to happen, the pre-trial next week, I believe. The question was asked of another attorney: can some of this thing that he was producing, some of the videos, be used? Are they going to use that? Are they going to source it? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Right? Absolutely. So sometimes we, on social media, because it's so immediate, because it's so present, because it's so easy, we forget that we are broadcasting to the world. Before, when I used to host on another platform, I'm like, yo, this is going out. You are transmitting to the world, right? But we're seeing grown people act worse than young children. If we saw young children act the way that grown people are acting right now in these streets, you would be like, yo, you're gonna need a timeout, bruh. You know what I mean? No going live for a minute. Okay. And then what we, the people who consume the tea, we say, oh, they went in, oh, they going hard. But when they have to face the consequences, the same people who was egging them up in the comment section, the same people who was going hard for the entertainment, are nowhere around when they have to pay their fees, or nowhere around when they have to face the judgment, right? So I was talking about the progression of YouTube. So I found my way over to certain sectors, and I'm just like, where am I? And I mean, what is going on over here? It started off with the debating. For those who know me from, I'm like, why we got to be debating so much and so long? It's not that one cannot debate. It's whether and we the people seem to like that. And debating has its place. But if there's nothing after the debate, if there's nothing after the wrestling match, after the tussling and the carrying on, then you're wasting your time, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Make sure ain't nobody. Yeah, then you're wasting your time, right? So the price of tea on YouTube is high. And there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of things that people don't see. There are YouTubers who get burnt out because they're trying to keep up with all of the demands. They pay their light bills off of YouTube, and pay their mortgage payments off of YouTube, pay their car insurance off of YouTube, right? And so there's a demand that begins to pressure you from being organic and being, if you are honest at any point, in your craft and producing, to being compelled to do a thing. And if you look at what many, or even if you care, the price of tea, right? It's who's cutting the tea, who's preparing the tea. Sometimes we look at just who's consuming the tea, what pretty package it comes in, what your intro looks like, how good the flavors are. But in the fields, there's somebody who has to plant the seed. There's somebody who has to grow the tea. It says the plant, whatever you're going to take to make tea, right? And in this case, the tea is oftentimes other people's lives. Remember, tea has to be exposed to hot water in order to extract the essence out of it. So the basis of the tea oftentimes is other people's lives, other people's downfalls, other people's whatever it is. And people pull up to the table like, yeah. Let's pour this hot water on it and consume it, not realizing not only is it compromising the person who you're talking about, the person who's delivering it, it is also compromising the person who is exposed to it. India B says the problem is that all of this, I can't see. Hold on. Oh, salaciousness gets views. That's facts. People literally have 5-hour streams rebutting, but not talking directly to the person they have a problem. That is all the way facts, India. That is facts. I don't know how they be doing these marathon streams. I'm like, fam, y'all ain't got to go to work or sleep or change the baby pampers or nothing. What are we doing in these lives? I've literally gone to sleep and woke up and still, I'm like, yo, Regin, I can't talk that long. After a while, y'all just see me like this. That means I'm done. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking? Like, yo, what was really going on? What are y'all, the jury deliberating or something? It says, in the multitude of words, sin is not far. I know some people may be like, I don't subscribe to the Bible, but hey, take some wisdom. Take some wisdom. In the multitude of words, sin is not far. You talking that long, you bound to make up some stuff. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 9 hours. And when you get off, you're not trying to do anything. There's some of us now, YouTube has created a space where you can argue all day, you can troll all day, you can just bounce from panel to panel. It's good to interact, but you bounce from panel to panel. You just want to be seen, you show up like many celebrities in the spot, and then at the end of the day you don't do anything. So it's really trying to convince other people of what they should be doing with their life, all the while you're not implementing any of that stuff in your own life, right? And it's like, okay. And then again, like you said, there are other channels where people will show up. And then another pet peeve, I'll just talk about another pet peeve on YouTube. It's just to show the human mind. We'll be like, nobody is talking about it. No, you have not come across anyone talking about it, because the chances are the people who are talking about it, they're not being salacious. They're not, doing slander. They're not doing all of these things. And so it's not getting the numbers that is going to pull the amount of people to say this person mentioned it. So if your favorite YouTuber is not talking about it, then nobody's talking about it. If your favorite blogger is not talking about it, then nobody's talking about it. And then we come to conversations misinformed, or nobody is doing it. There are plenty of people doing it, but that's not what we the people are interested in my experience. We're interested in the hype. And then when the hype kind of die out, we be like, well, where the next hype gonna be at? And if that's what you're about, then that's what you're about. But we're talking about the price of tea. I went back to look at historically, like the price of tea in China. I always say that, like, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Tea used to be expensive back in the day. Tea was expensive because guess what? China had the exclusive on the tea. You understand? Literally. And the English started getting put onto tea. And now they want the exclusive on the tea. And now they go and try to, I just was listening and they said that, in the 1600s, Great Britain wants the tea. China's like, nah, you can't have this tea. So they sent in a dude, a double agent, to play like he was a monk to steal the tea plant and bring it into India. Because, next thing you know, India is the next one planting and producing tea. This is just a little actual tea history because I found it interesting. And when Great Britain wanted to trade with China for the tea, these jokers was over here trading opium for tea. Let that sink in. Which later became very addictive to the Chinese. Like, yeah, I really want your tea that has all of these medicinal properties. Do you mind taking this here opium for your tea? There's some of these channels that we're going to, and for our time and attention, they are over here selling us, giving us highly addictive content that keeps us in a stupor. So I found, LF asked me on one video, Mooney, do you be coming up with this stuff off your head? Yes, LF. It's just straight off the dome. Like, as I'm talking, I'm trying to picture what I can use as an analogy. So we're going to people's channels who now that's all they serve. Like, do you have anything else? Nope. All about hating black men. Like, bruh, so every day you wake up now and you be like, today I will talk about how much, you should hate black men. And then you go to another channel and they're like, yeah, I know I talked about how much the single black woman is going to die alone, but today I want to talk about how 2 single black women are going to die alone. You're like, bruh, how do you wake up every day that the Most High sends you with the gloom and doom? Can y'all help me to help? And every day the people sew up like, you got any more of that opium? It's like, yo, they're not going to say nothing else that they didn't say before. There is no way. Where is the end of this here rainbow? Y'all help me to help you. Just watching the whole thing is sad. I've been on this thing for many, many years. You know what I mean? And it's just sad. Where's the end of the rainbow? Where is the end of the rainbow? And what is that noise? Do these same channels? Mister, what kind of noise that you're making on my YouTube video? So of course, no, he's not on. I am done Why is he riding the baby motorcycle bike up the street making the most noise? Y'all, I'm just free flowing. If y'all want to, I'll put the link if y'all want to talk. Yes, that speaks to just how broken the community, and yes, India, it's true. It speaks to how broken the community is. And I used to, for years, that's why people may be like, Amuna, right? For years, I'm like, yo, we need healing. I would say as far back as 2009, I was saying to the community before then, but on this internet in this way, my first video was about health and healing. And I'm like, well, the people are broken. We need healing. This is before I knew about Dr. Joy DeGruy, before I knew about Dr. Sabi, before I just knew that there's something wrong. Yeah, I knew there was something wrong. And then this space, the internet, introduced you to people who you may not have come across, right? Like a Dr. Joy DeGruy, like a Dr. Sabi, like a lot of people that you would come across and you would take and hear bits and pieces that had value to it. And you're like, yes, the community needs healing. And the reality is true, but not if they don't want it. And over this 11-year span, I could talk from firsthand experience. I'd spent 2 years as a group, a facilitator for a group offline, because I thought that the value was in giving the people the privacy to exchange very intimate details without exploiting them to a certain degree. So I did it offline for 2 years straight, every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Take time to heal. For those who know, okay? And they show up and they share. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, they show up, but they just want to talk about the same thing every night. And then when you give an assignment, they don't come back and do it. And I'm just like, well, wait a minute. Something is not adding up, right? So I said, okay, maybe I need to just share with the people what I've done, right? And start to make content around, awareness. So I team up with Brother Philippe Matthews, and I have conversation with Dr. Joy DeGruy and Brother Kaba and different people. And then I'm just like, well, every week we just talking. Where's the praise reports? Where is the praise reports? Where is the, you know what? I implemented this in my life. You know what? I was troubled with diabetes, and I started changing my thought process. You know what? I tried to clean up my situation with my parents or with my siblings or with my mate, and I've made progress. Where is the progress? We need healing. But when you have all of these tools, not just here, you have a plethora, a myriad of tools on social media, free. It's free. It's free. It's free. You have people teaching you about narcissism and codependency, low self-esteem, trauma bonding. I mean, there has never been a time like this when the information is so forthcoming. It's so free. So it's, to me, in 2021, almost 2022, is it enough to say the people need healing? Or do we now need to graduate from that point to not what the people need, but what the people want? On one, like I said before, I said it in other spaces, we beg for what we need, but we pay for what we want. We show up in super chat for other people's business, for R. Kelly's arrest record, and for what Polite did. We show up for those things. We super chat for those things when somebody's entertaining us, but for the things that we need, we beg for. Can I get that for free? Can you send me the link? So it's like, yeah, we need healing, but what do we want? Queen T, shout out to you. Welcome to the conversation. That's what I asked today. What do we, the people, want? Because we can need a lot of things, but unless we want it, unless that desire is there, unless we are willing to move towards it, then it's a waste of time, waste of energy, in my estimation, my humbled estimation. Okay? It's a waste of time, waste of energy. If after a while, after you've already put it out there in the ether, this is why some things now I just let rest, because I already been down that road. You know what I mean? It's there. Diamonds are there in the earth. Gemstones are there in the earth. For the opals are there in the earth. It's already there. If the person wants it and there's a market for it and the people value it, they go towards that. So now the question is, what do we, the people, want? We're showing what we want because that's where we're putting our attention. That's what we're paying for. That's what we're funding. Yes, we want to be entertained. It's escapism, just like the opioid. Thank you, India. I'm putting that. We thank you, India. Thank you for the transparency and the honesty. We, the people, be honest and say we want to be entertained. Then we can move from there. If we want to be entertained, cool. Then, because if then, right? Remember the if then statements? If this, then that. If we want to be entertained, then we need to stop complaining about what's wrong in the community, because our prime focus is entertainment, not fixing anything, not coming together, not healing ourselves. The prime focus is entertainment. So be ye entertained. Be ye entertained. You know what I mean? Be ye entertained. But at the same time, if you said all of my energy has gone towards my entertainment budget, don't get mad when your lights get cut off, because all the money's went to the entertainment budget. And our energy, our attention is currency, because it's energy. It's getting dark. Let me see. Nah, I'm good. Our attention, like right now, we're paying attention. You're paying attention to me. I'm paying attention to you. Our attention is currency. It's energy. So wherever energy goes, energy grows. If we have a plant, like you see all around me, and we put energy towards it, and we take care of it, then it's going to grow. So it is in our life. So if the entertainment, this is why the entertainment sector on YouTube has blossomed and grown, because that's what we want. And people who have been showing us, like one of them who left, I don't know if you guys know Chef Mama Rosa. She was on here. She used to spit game. She used to do cooking videos. She's gone. Everything gone. Her, along with a lot of other people, right? When YouTube started changing up and doing what they do, because they benefited a lot of people in the monetary, but then people began to sell out because of the monetary, right? So you'll see people not saying this because YouTube is going to do that, or not doing this because the subscribers are not going to like it. And so now you have to placate to a certain degree to your audience. You can't be authentically who you are. And that's just another matrix, right? Queen T said, if you're not healthy, don't get mad when those Jordans don't heal you. Basically, wherever you put your money in, or your time in, or your energy in, I'm not mad at you. We all have choices, but don't be mad. You know what I mean? Let me drink some water, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. A little more water. So it is, I agree with India. It is escapism. But from what? What are you escaping from? The reality that you don't want to deal with. That once you turn off the YouTube, it's still there. I don't know how many people see now that YouTube, oh man, my thing is about to go out. YouTube has a button that now tells you you've been watching too long. Does that come, YouTube be like, you want to take a break? Because you've been watching for too long. Sometimes I'm working and I'm driving and I'll just let a video play. I'll be listening to an online book, or I like longer lectures. Do you know on YouTube, Yale University, who's this rolling by real slow like? Everybody, sir. Do you know certain universities, do you know their college courses on YouTube? I'll give y'all I have them in my playlist. They're actual full-length college courses on YouTube. Whole courses. Right? How to fix your car, how to put down pavers, how to plant a banana tree. But where is our attention? And the people who have our attention, what are they pointing it towards? And would they have our attention if they wasn't hyping up foolishness? Is there something else that they would rather be doing? Like I heard one at a time, back to this conversation, listening to music. Only when I'm listening. Yeah, when you're listening to music or a playlist, they'd be like, you've been listening too long. You know, music, yeah, they got the throwbacks on YouTube, right? But I heard the blogger Tasha K said one time that she started off on radio locally and she was talking about health. But when she was talking about health, no one was listening to her. And when she moved into the YouTube space, she realized that when she started talking about celebrities, people started listening. So now she only slips into health in between basically the filler, the junk that the people actually want. That's showing you where we as a people, if this is your audience, if you give the people what they want, you're going to compromise yourself, especially if you know better. And universe gonna be like, bruh, come on, can I talk to you real quick? Can you wind down your window? Can you wind down your window? Why do you need Yale? You don't necessarily need Yale. I said there's information. My point is this Yale is whoever. There are college courses that some of these arguments is because people are missing adequate information. Wherever you are obtaining the information from, a lot of the arguments that are happening in the subconscious community is because people are not exposed to certain levels of information. So when I put certain thing, I want to know if I can edify myself in a certain area so that when I'm speaking, I'm not misleading people. This is why I personally say, hey, whoa, they got whole college courses out here. Driving along the way, listening, picking up information, checking sources. This is part of the issue in the community. It's the way in which we engage. It's not healthy because people oftentimes are consumed with work, consumed with family, consumed with, it's getting real dark, right? Consuming with everything that they're doing. And so we are more inclined to be gullible. We are more inclined to just believe everything somebody's telling us because there's so much happening in our life. If the person sounds intelligent, they sound smart, they sound like they know what they're talking about, I'll just go ahead and take their word for it. Now this is bright in my eyes. Hold on. The mystery, right? I'll just go ahead and take their word for it. And then when you go down the line, you realize that this person is ba, 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 ba. And then it's all falling apart. So it's the same thing. Oh yeah, you teach yourself on YouTube. Most definitely. Most definitely. That's the KS story. He was talking to men with 10,000 subscribers, and now he disrespects women to 1.4. Exactly. Exactly. That's the same story. Oh, this is not working. I see that this is working. And even though this may not be who I am, it's kind of like selling your soul because you know better. You guys are finished? I'm coming. You know better, right? But because this is what the people want, I'm going to compromise myself, or the person is going to compromise themselves to get monetary advancement. Because if it wasn't for the monetary element, then a lot of people wouldn't be doing what they're doing. Consider that. So they're willing to give you opium for tea leaves, get you hooked and addicted, ruin your life, you know what I mean? Break up your family. They're willing to do all of these things. Why? So that they can pay their bills, so that they can eat. So it's like the drug dealer. He may not take the drugs, but he's willing to sell drugs in the neighborhood so that he can live and so that he can eat and so that he can exist. He or she, whomever you may be. There's nothing different with disseminating this information. It's for a lot of people, it's a hustle. So sometimes people come to other channels and be like, ain't nobody over there. It must mean they not popping. Or it may mean that they're not willing to do what you're willing to do. I see it also in the religious community, in a lot of spaces. Maybe they just not willing to do what you're willing to do. And that's okay too. Yep, sell out for trinkets. We don't learn, Queen T. We don't learn. We don't learn. We don't learn. But what they need to understand is that in this space, when we put stuff out, not only are other people watching, we are placing orders in the universe. If you speak things into existence, let there be light, and there was light, and we are made in the image and likeness, and we can speak. We have the creative power in our mouth to speak things into existence. Then a lot of people don't realize that they're calling to themselves the reality that they will one day face. Okay. And then, the poor me sets in. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't you order that stuff when you pulled up at the drive-through? Didn't you, when you were trying to cap, when you wanted the people to say what they wanted to say in the audience, when you was high off of the live stream, when you got hundreds of thousands of views, I know what to do. For me personally, I know what to do get views. But some of the people that come for the views, they may be new to the story, and now they're gonna try to put you in a box. Now I only want you to do X, Y, and Z. I know how to reach out, like I did the story on although my mic was messed up because I was new back to YouTube. It's been a while. They changed all of everything. No more Google Hangouts. But anyway, the story off of I forget the story now. Anyway, the story the other day of one of them shows, right? But that's a whole nother speed. So then you get people who just want stories and hype, and then they begin to go back out. You bring them in with the tide, and then they go back out when you go back to who you are. Although you're always maintaining who you are, and you're talking about what needs to be spoken about. My point being, YouTube can be a beautiful place. It has potential, always has been, but it's also something that can get us caught up. And if every day you show up to certain channels and it's all about how the black man is not nothing and the black woman is not nothing and women are nothing and men are nothing, it's an opium trap. They're giving you tea, but they paying for it with opium. They trying to get you high. They're trying to get you high. And everything we type, which makes things real, and everything we speak, and all of the frequencies that we tune into, that becomes our reality. So we can't hold the thought that, oh, we want a good relationship, we want positivity, we want joy, we want peace, and then we tune it into heavy metal rock, who's like, like you don't want joy, peace, and all of these things when you're tuning into things that are not harmonic, right? So that's just my thought on that. Let me see if I covered everything. What did I say I was going to talk about? Because y'all know sometimes I'll be forgetting. Let me put a link in the box if anybody wants to share their thoughts. And then I'm going to go inside and call it a day. That was my little soapbox moment. Man, why every time I come on this thing? Let me go over here. Not all you guys can see is my glasses. Where's the share button, yo? Oh, here. That was my little soapbox moment. Because now the same thing that's happening there is happening on the other side where where now everybody's scattering, right? Everybody who was hyping up the crowd, like, yeah, bring the cheese, spill the wine, and they were like, yo, whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, I wasn't there. Like, yeah, you was just there pumping up the fists, like in that scene in Juice when they robbed the store. Remember when old man Radamez, old man Quillo, what was the name of the man in Juice? Quilles. When they robbed the convenience store, and then Q ran back to the party like he wasn't already just there robbing the convenience store with Tupac. What was Tupac's? Y'all making me go back in my mind. Juice was one of my favorite movies, but I can't remember right now. Now, what was Tupac's name in Juice? It was Q. I can't remember Tupac's name in Juice, y'all. I know y'all gonna tell me in the comment section. But y'all get my point. So with that said, Bishop, thank you, India. Y'all be on point. Bishop, right? They done ran back to the party like they wasn't even there. That's how people be right now, is on these YouTube spots, doing all kind of craziness. Next thing you know, whoop, 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 they run back like they wasn't even there. Talking about they got an alibi. Yo, all right, we got alibis now, right? But with that said, I think I put the link in the box. Did I? Yes, I put the link in the box. If anybody have anything to say, feel free to share. That's my thought. Oh, we got a guest. Let's see what's going on here. Yo, LF is in the spot. What's going on, LF?
What's up? You hear me?
Yep. What's going on?
Oh, okay. I don't know where you at in the conversation. I'm at work right now, so I'll be drifting in and out. But I just wanted to bring up man, somebody the other day asked me just randomly. I don't want to say who it was, but they was like, "Have you heard of Kevin Samuels?" And like my immediate response, I wanted to like roll my eyes, but I was like, "What's up? Like, what you talking about?" And they were like, "Yeah, he's this, that, and the third, you know." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I forgot I forgot how the conversation ended up developing, but I started asking him like, "Okay, so like, what determines what's a good man?" You know what I mean? Like, well, he's like, well, Kevin Samuel says that a high value man is somebody who makes over $100,000 a year. And I was like, okay, so then what's that make me? He was like, you average. And I started laughing. So
Oh,
I was like, what about you? He was like, I'm average too. I was like, so you and me is average because this dude says so? You know what I mean? Like, and
right.
I wasn't in the space to have the conversation. So I was like, all right, bro, you know what I mean? Like enjoy, following that wherever it leads you and stuff.
Right.
But like later on, I was thinking like, cause I know this dude personally. I know his stance on certain situations that are going like current. You know what I mean? If I were to bring
Hmm.
up a dude like Jeffrey Epstein, he'd be like, oh, that dude's a scumbag, right? But Jeffrey Epstein
Right.
make more than $100,000. So according to Kevin Samuels, this is a high value man. You know what I'm saying? So what what
Right.
what determines value? That's my whole thing. Like I don't want to hear I don't want to hear about all this. A lot of it comes down to it just a lot of I'm not trying to talk bad about people nothing like that, but the truth is a lot of it comes down from like a lot of bitter men who have
Mm,
negative experiences with women, and instead of taking responsibility, they want to be like, oh yeah, it's because these women are out of line and this, that, and the third, and they wicked, and you know what I mean? It's like, man, if I were just to accept responsibility for the things that I did in the situation, all that stuff is unnecessary. Earning $100,000 a year and stuff like that, because that still doesn't guarantee I'm gonna have a good relationship. And
that's
this dude
fact.
don't even he don't even want to he doesn't even want to be married. What do
Oh,
I look like
wow.
taking advice from him?
Yeah, that's facts.
Well, I don't know. I just brought that up because I started thinking about the stuff that you were talking about with people spouting off on the internet and people running with it. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of I'm still trying to think of how I should address, because I want to bring that back up to him, because I feel like he ready to run down that uh
Yeah.
that wrong road. You know what I mean? I feel like I at least
Right.
got to say something, but I don't want to come off as you should not listen to this guy, because I want to
Right.
come at him like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, what do you like about this? What do you see? Now, do you know what I mean? I'm
Right.
trying to think of
I
how
would
to
go that
approach it.
way. I would go that
Uh,
way. I would ask him, what's intriguing about him. Um, do you have the similar goals as he does? Kind of get him to think about whether or not your goals align. Like, are you trying to get married? Uh, does he teach? You know what I mean? Try to not just like, oh, rip it away from him, but kind of, ask him whether or not the direction that Kevin is pointing you in, whether or not it's going to get you to your desired end. You feel me? And then he can come to his own conclusions from there. What are his personal goals, and what are some of the things that Kevin Samuel is espousing that may be attractive or help him to reach those goals?
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna try that, but
Yeah, I would, because
I'm gonna try that.
automatically, once if you start like this, if you start like going in on him, then the person is gonna automatically become more defensive. And even if it's wrong, they're gonna want to go,
Yeah,
they're inclined to go towards it because you're attacking it. Right.
yeah, that's true.
So yeah, just open up the conversation and hear what he says.
Yeah, uh, ah,
Yeah.
man, it's
I,
like
I told you, LF, you
what's
was
up?
like, why are you still talking about this? I said, because it's seeping into the real world.
It really is though. It really is. Like for real, I never even heard of this dude before you started talking about him. I seen him one time on like he was on. I don't even watch this show, but it popped up on my little recommendations. He was like on the Joe Budden podcast, and I was like,
Right.
I don't know who that is, but got a lot of views on there and stuff like that. And then I just
Right.
started seeing him more and more after you started talking about him. I was like, oh, I guess this dude is a big deal. Hey, what's up, man? I'm sorry, I'm at work right now.
No
Yeah,
problem.
one is cool. I'm gonna hand you the tracking number, and you could do whatever you want with that. So, but oh, okay, I feel you. Well, all right, Amuna, I'm gonna let you go ahead. I don't want you to be sitting here
All right. Thanks
listening
for
to me.
calling in, LF.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day.
All right. You do the
Bye.
same.
Thank you.
For those who just joined us, we're winding down. So if you want to click the link, let your voice be heard, feel free to do so. This is Amuna. We're talking about the price of tea, not in China, but on YouTube. Talking about vloggers, lawyers, and you. You know what I mean? Let's see. India says we need healing, looking for answers everywhere other than within. That's facts, India. If we turned off the TV, well, not even TV no more. If we turned off the YouTube, turned off social media, just for 72 hours, some people would go crazy because some people live for likes. That's why one of my favorite songs is Chronic's do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. You know what I mean? You don't do it for the likes. There's some people who live their life for likes. They don't do nothing. They don't make a move. They don't eat a piece of food. They don't put on an outfit until they get this social validation from the people in and around them. Everything is for the likes. This is where we are right now. I knew a friend back in the day. This is before social media. It used to bug me then, and it still bugs me now. We will go somewhere. This was back in the day when you had to do Polaroid cameras. Y'all remember that? Or you had to actually go to Walgreens or CVS to develop your film. Okay. And we would go places when we were younger in our 20s. And the person would just be like, just here, not really enjoying themselves. But as soon as the camera come out, they posing. And I'm thinking to myself, well, wasn't you just sitting there not enjoying yourself? How come you keep posing? And you're like, oh, I'm doing it for the camera. I'm like, to me, that was always not kosher, man. So now imagine how to the 10th degree is so irritating to see people that you know in real life. When they're in a room, they don't light up the room, they don't engage, they're not present. None of that. But on social media, they're like, yeah, I'm enjoying. I'm like, why are we pretending? Like, wasn't you just sitting across from me? What? So there's a space where social media creates for some people the ability, the opportunity to present what is not as though it is. And that's where a lot of people are thriving at. Some may call them introverts, some may be socially awkward. It's not all just one type, but there is a certain type who will pretend for the space because it's easier to do so without having to actually engage in real time with people. So yes, if we were to go within, even just for 24 hours, bruh, if you was to unplug for 24 hours to really center yourself and see where you're at, see where your thoughts at, try to rein them in, I'm telling you, people, it would be a different ball game. But the highly addictive nature of this social opium, it has people messed up. Yeah, Queen T, we're gonna come back and talk about that high value. That stuff, they still over there talking about that madness. Ask him if he's just money earning. Yeah, the high value. We'll come back and talk about that. One thing, when hurricane happened, no Wi-Fi or internet access is needed. Yeah, we live in hurricane region. So I know what it is like, and the mosquitoes are coming out, so I'm gonna roll on y'all. But I know what it's like when everything goes out. I mean, the internet goes out, your lights go out. I mean, and you just be still. You don't know when that drink coming back. You better learn to read. You better write something. You better engage with your family. You know what I mean? You better know how to talk because that's all you have. So I think there's something to that in this conversation about YouTube and tea and addiction, and every day you hate this person, every day you hate that person. Queen C, welcome to the conversation. Every day, it can't be every day. There's no way, man. There's no way that every day you wake up, you want to see why the black man is no good. Like, bruh, come on. Not one. You know, every day, no, man, that right there is just feeding on the death and destruction of a community of a people. You know, look at the good in humanity. There's some videos on here that all they do is show you the good deeds in humanity. There's still good. If you don't focus on it, then you don't think it exists. There are still good people out there. There's still people who will go out their way to help other people. And if we highlight those and give a balanced look, then it'll be hope for the next generation. But we have to also remember that if we are stealing hope from the next generation, what is there for them to accomplish? What is there for them to do if everything is so bad? So that's my thought for the day. You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead because these mosquitoes is getting turned up on me. If anybody have any questions or comments, yes, hit the like button on your way out the door. Share your thoughts in the box below. Like, subscribe, do all that great stuff. If there's any topics, I'm gonna do like an open mic where if you have a scenario that you kind of want to run by, and we could kind of shoot the breeze and have a conversation, do a little solonomics on a scenario, something that you've been wanting to ask me. If you don't mind it being online, let me know. But if it's offline, then you're gonna have to hit me up another way. But right now I'm extra busy with the offline. But if it's online and something that could edify the people who are tuning in and listening, then feel free to just jump on or hit me up and we can arrange a time. All right. With that said, I'm out because these mosquitoes are in. All right. Bless.